Hello and welcome to the Prepare to Prosper podcast, episode 16, where we prepare today to prosper tomorrow. So last week we discussed getting things put together into kits and how that simplifies our life. And now we're going to go through a bunch of different kits that we should have and what should be in them and some thought processes behind those kits. So the first one is everyday carry. You'll see the abbreviation EDC. If you're not familiar with that, that's everyday carry. So everyone has an everyday carry, not just preparedness-minded people. Most people, their everyday carry is their phone, their keys, and their wallet. That's it. I think you should have stuff to be a little bit more prepared than that. It's part of your everyday carry. Now, this isn't everything you quite possibly need, but it's everything you might need on your person. So things that make your life more convenient, and things for security, and a little bit of first aid. And I'll go into the thought processes of all those in a second. But you don't need to have a utility belt and look like Batman or carry a bag around with you everywhere where you go. I will talk about everyday carry bags, but I think those should stay in your car and then go into work with you maybe. You don't need to drag them into a restaurant with you. But they just expand on your everyday carry and give you a little bit more capability. So for not looking like Batman, I used to carry this guy. If you're watching the audio or listening to the audio, it's a Leatherman Surge. It's a great multi-tool. I love it, but it's a big honking guy. And I realized that I only use a couple of the tools on here. And they're mediocre, because multi-tools are great, but because they can do so many jobs, but they don't do our job well. So what I decided to do is what suits me better is to get rid of the heavier multi-tool and switch to some Knipex needle nose pliers. That gives me all the plier function I need. And then also a Fix-It Stick brand screwdriver kit that I can carry around in my pocket. And then I also use the scissors a lot. So I have a little Leatherman. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. The Squirt PS4 on my keys. Hold on a second there. So that may look like a lot, but I use these things. I use the pliers pretty much every day. The little Leatherman, I use it 3-4 times a week. Like I said, the pliers I use almost every day. The screwdrivers I probably use 4 or 5 times a day, or 4 or 5 times a week. So while that seems like I carry a lot in just those things, it's just strictly what I use, and I have really good quality of that. Now, things should be multi-purpose as much as possible. So I took and put around the holder for the Fix-It Stick screwdrivers some thin bank line, and I'm going to add some jute twine to it later. I just haven't got around to it. I'll get that done this week, because we're going to talk more about some that in the homework. But also, so I carry those are the tools I use a lot. I also carry a Life Straw water bottle with me, the 1 quart one. That way I have all the water I need. I can always fill it up. Most of the time, fill it up in the drinking fountain or the water cooler at work. But that also gives me the ability to drink out of streams and everything like that. And then, because in the wintertime, I have a tendency of leaving that in the car, and if those freeze, they can break the filter. So I carry in my everyday carry bag a spare filter for it. That way, if I need to actually drink out of muddy water, I have a spare filter that I know is good. And then that's it for the regular tools I carry. Oh, forgot 2 other regular tool things I carry. Of course, chapstick. I wish there was something manlier than chapstick, but whatever. And then also I carry some comfrey cream my wife made. Comfrey I carry a little tin if you're listening to the audio. About the size of a $50. And comfrey is the #1 healing herb so it's really great on sore muscles, aches and pains, stuff like that. Also helps with healing wounds, anything like that. And I have probably a torn rotator cuff. I have all the symptoms of one, just haven't gone to the doctor for it, probably won't. But on days that's really bothering me and aching a lot, I can use the comfort cream, and then I can continue to go on my day. Like I said, this stuff I use all the time. The comfort cream, if you want to carry something like that, carrying it in an everyday carry bag is not a terrible idea. It just works well to have in my pocket. So other tools that I carry, of course, an ink pen everywhere I go. Ink pen, just a cheap ink pen. I like the idea of carrying expensive ink pens, but I'm left-handed, so they go in my left pocket, clipped on the inside of my left pocket, and then occasionally my seatbelt will grab a hold of the pocket clip and pull it out, and then I lose the pocket clip. So I also carry a flashlight. So a flashlight's a great tool. I can't see well in the dark. You might say, well, you got your cell phone flashlight, and that works great, or works well enough, but I think you should have a dedicated good quality flashlight, because they really shine a lot of light in an area, and they're easier to set down on something or put in your mouth. If you have to see something, use your hands than trying to do that with a flashlight. And also I recommend carrying a flashlight that has a really bright mode to it, because then it can be used as a defensive tool as well. So I got a flat tire when I used to work night shift, put the spare on at work, and then I was driving to the gas station because the spare tire was a little low. Something you need to keep in mind is you should check your spare tire, make sure it's not getting a little low. Spare tire was a little low, so I went to the gas station, filled it up at night. Well, this guy started walking to me across the parking lot. When he noticed that I saw him, he started walking faster, so I could grab the flashlight in the bright and just click it up to bright mode and shine it in his face, and he couldn't see me, and it stopped what he was doing. It turned out he was just one of the truck drivers, and he was walking around the parking lot because he couldn't sleep, and he was going to go check to make sure see if I needed help. But I could use that as a tool to stop him until I figured out whether he was a good guy or a bad guy. It's much better than pulling a gun on somebody. And yeah, truck drivers sleep in that parking lot all the time, so it's no big deal. So one last real tool is right now I'm carrying this cheap Kershaw something or other. I'm in between everyday carry knives. I'm not sure what I want to carry every day. I'm not happy with this one as an everyday carry knife, but it'll work for now. So Sarah, or I owned a few Kershaws. My cousin that I'm close to, he owns a couple of Kershaws and carries them regularly. My dad does as well. And then Sarah, her late husband, had a bunch of Kershaws. We gave the kids. And then she carried a Kershaw. So it just sort of became our family knife, is Kershaw brand. So I'm leaning towards buying a different type of Kershaw to carry every day, because our family carries Kershaws. So it's a cool little thing. We didn't plan it out that way. But then I also carry pepper spray, because pepper spray can be good for if you just need to incapacitate someone, you're not sure what's going on. It's better than using your firearm. Also, it's good for dogs, stopping dogs. If you see two dogs fighting, you can spray them both down. If you're walking your dog gets in a fight with another dog for some loose dog, you can spray both of them down. You don't really injure your dog, and it stops the fight. You don't have to worry about accidentally shooting your dog. Or if your neighbor's dog is just growling at you and getting close to you and threatening you, you can pepper spray your neighbor's dog if you think it's going to be a problem. And that's much easier to explain to your neighbor that you pepper sprayed their dog than that you shot their dog. And speaking of firearms and stuff, I carry a Glock 26. I'm not going to show you because YouTube will flip out, but it's right here on my hip. And then I also carry a spare magazine for it. I do carry the Glock 19 magazine. the 15 round one, because the little thing in my the little pocket inside my pocket for holding magazines doesn't hold the shorter 26 magazine very well. And then I also carry with me tourniquet. This is rat's tourniquet. No, it's not as good as a cat tourniquet, but I do a lot of scout things and other things where I'm around children, church, stuff like that. We got a lot of small elderly women at church, and the rat's tourniquet will work better on them. I do plan on adding more first aid stuff to my everyday carry, and probably like some sort of vacuum seal to hold it all together so it's not flopping around inside my pockets, because that would get really annoying. Oh, also, I forgot the thing that in my pocket that I use the most often, besides my cell phone, my earbuds. Let's see, I think, of course, a wallet. And a little trick is, since we all carry our cell phones, is to put $20 inside your cell phone case. That way, if you're out someplace and you lose your wallet for whatever reason, you still have 20 bucks. You can, get something to eat, get gas in your car, whatever you need to do. 20 bucks will get you by most things. So that's pretty much my everyday carry. Like I said, your everyday carry should be stuff you use frequently, all the time. Stuff that you shouldn't carry like, oh, I'm going to carry a space blanket in my pocket just in case I get stranded somewhere and I need a space blanket. If you're going out in the woods, carry a space blanket. If you're going to work, you probably don't need a space blanket in your pocket. But also, so I carry a lot of the stuff that I use all the time. I also carry the firearm and the first aid stuff and the pepper spray, which I don't use very often. But if you don't have them, you don't have the ability, you don't have time to go get them from your everyday carry kit, your everyday carry bag, or some other kit or something else. Like if your firearm's locked in your glove box, you can't go get it when you need it. So what our homework is for today is to evaluate and think about and list out things that we use all the time and how we can integrate that in our everyday carry. So like what I'm going to do is I need to take, and on that fix-it stick we already talked about, I need to take some jute twine and put on there, and then carry a ferrocerium rod with me, and maybe a Bic lighter. Probably a ferrocerium rod because it's lighter and easier to carry, and I can integrate it in my lifestyle better. And then that, and with the chapstick and the comfort cream and the jute twine, I'll have the ability to start fire. And the jute twine is also jute twine. It's useful for tying things if you need to. So get the things that you need, that you're going to use a lot. I recommend a bare minimum: a knife, a flash, well, besides your phone and keys that you already carry, but a knife, a good flashlight, good knife that you can depend on, and first aid kit. And when I say a knife that you depend on, I don't mean like one that you can use to fight off Navy SEAL. I mean one that you can cut your lunch with safely. One that if you need to cut like a radiator hose, something like that, you can do it. It's not going to break on you. And by flashlight, buy the best flashlight you can afford that's reasonable within your budget. They're basically a lifetime investment. The only problem I have with my flashlight is I bought it, it was mini USB, and that's all that was available at the time. And now USB-C's around, and I wish it was USB-C, but if it ever breaks, I'll switch to USB-C. If I ever, maybe someday I'll upgrade to USB-C one, but they're just a lot of money and I don't see it necessary. So homework for everybody: evaluate what you carry every day, see what you need and don't need to add to that, what kind of tools and things that you use a lot can you carry on your person. And these are tools you gotta use constantly. Anything bulky or heavy, throw that in a backpack. And then look into flashlight, knife, and a first aid kit if you don't carry those. A great resource for first aid kits, a lot of them, I'll try to put a link in the description, is Refuge Medical. Bear Independent here on YouTube. He's got a great channel, and He sells first aid kits. He doesn't make a killing off of them, but he does take some of the money and uses that he makes from selling first aid kits to fight human trafficking, child human trafficking within the United States. Yes, his first aid kits are expensive, but they're all great, high quality gear. I got a couple of them. I can't say anything bad about them. All American made. Everything, every stitch in the bag's American made. Everything. So, and yes, they are a little bit more expensive than you can put together on your own, but that difference of money, I consider that a donation to stop to rescue human trafficking victims and rehabilitate them. That's worth everything. That's worth more than the first aid kit, in my opinion. All right, so let's do our homework. I'll meet you back here again next week. And remember, we prepare today to prosper tomorrow.